Ladies and gentlemen, this short film highlights victories over the past 25 years. It's incomplete, it's in no particular order, and it could never name all the deserving leaders among us. But it doesn't matter whether it's comprehensive or even chronological. What matters is that you know that yours is a feat without equal on the planet. While the world's last few supposedly free people of England, Australia, Canada, South Africa have surrendered their liberties in obedient fear, you said not just no, but hell no. And in so doing, you are why so much freedom was reclaimed and preserved on our watch. It's easy to forget how bad it was after the Gun Control Act of 1968. America was not a safe place for the Second Amendment or gun owners in the 1970s.
My staff and the staff of the Appropriations Committee has been investigating BATF for at least the last 2 years, looking to see how they have implemented the 1968 Gun Control Act. What we find is a pattern of abuse of the rights of legitimate law-abiding citizens, the harassment of people who own guns who are violating no law, the attempt to entrap innocent victims into a violation that they can then prosecute. We've also seen the instance where they confiscate gun collections. They take no care of them, they destroy them, even though there's no prosecution or they fail to get a conviction. They refuse to return the guns to the people who lawfully own them. That pattern of abuse under the 1968 Act is sufficient reason for us to seek changes.
You are saying that the 1968 Gun Control Regulatory Act is just too tough.
It's overly broad. It doesn't target the real bad guy. It leads to a lot of regulatory offenses against honest citizens, which is how the National Rifle Association got involved in this debate.
A hot battle is being waged on Capitol Hill over the McClure-Volkmer bill that would revise the 1968 Gun Control Act.
The Firearms Owners Protection Act was landmark legislation that would repeal many wrongs, end abuses, and save countless lives from ruin. And the NRA led the fight.
The Reagan administration supports a new bill called the Firearms Owners Protection Act, or the McClure-Volkmer bill.
6 long years later, the act became law. But the enemy was only catching his breath. Designed to deprive low-income Americans of affordable self-defense, the ban on so-called Saturday night specials couldn't even define what one was, except any gun the gun haters hated.
What we're talking about is a cooling-off period and time for local police to run a good background check.
It's a common misconception that the Bradys won. They did not. The Brady waiting period for gun purchases was replaced by the system the NRA supported that's in place today, the National Instant Check System. As violent crime rates went up, anti-gun schemes rained down. But the NRA fought back, defending the right to self-defense, a topic of intense interest, especially to women. As proof the gun ban crowd never runs out of lies, how about banning plastic guns?
A separate bill to restrict plastic guns, introduced by Ohio Senator Howard Metzenbaum, is also opposed by the NRA.
There are currently no plastic guns in existence, and according to the FAA as well, they can detect plastic explosives and plastic firearms with current technology. It's our position that a terrorist doesn't need an undetectable weapons system to breach civil aviation security in this country. In fact, it's been widely reported that all they would need to do is apply for a job.
Another lie almost became law, but the plastic gun myth was exposed.
Tell the NRA that their nightmare is true. We're back. We're not going away after Brady. We have a lot to do.
One item on their to-do list were ammunition bans in countless forms and places. Defeated. Another achievement was the creation of the NRA Foundation in 1990. The foundation has awarded more than $51 million to thousands of programs that preserve our shooting and hunting heritage.
Dave McCurdy, Kent Conrad, Jim Sasser, Tom Foley. For 30 years, gun owners trusted you to protect freedom. Sorry, Tom. Washington voters are saying the Speaker has stopped listening.
Despite the most anti-gun White House in history, 90% of NRA-backed candidates won in the 1994 and 96 elections, replacing an anti-gun Congress and unseating the first Speaker of the House in 134 years.
All I can tell you is we have a higher percentage of people in jail than all the other advanced countries, and they have a lower gun death rate. Why is that? That's because they don't have an NRA in their country.
We're here today to relay to the administration the message the voters gave to America this past Tuesday. Mr. President, it's the criminals, stupid.
While exposing the Clinton administration's miserable record prosecuting federal gun crime, the NRA supported a better idea, Project Exile in Richmond, Virginia.
To make sure that the message about Project Exile gets out, local businesses are paying for billboards and signs on a city bus. Criminals are getting the point.
NRA's influence elevated Project Exile to a national presence as Project Safe Neighborhood. Today, violent crime rates are the lowest in decades. In 1998, the magnificent new National Firearms Museum was unveiled at NRA headquarters, a world-class collection that proudly illustrates our heritage of firearms, freedom, and the American experience. 15 years ago, NRA introduced a gun safety program without an anti-gun agenda.
With me now, stop!
Today, the Anti-Eagle Gun Safe program has reached 17 million kids, and gun accident rates are the lowest on record. To protect shooting ranges from arbitrary harassment by local anti-gun bureaucrats, the NRA has helped pass range protection laws in 45 states and counting. The NRA is leading the fight for firearms preemption laws that keep cities from imposing ordinances more restrictive than state law. Now in 42 states and counting. No more can animal rights zealots poison hunting dogs, spike roads, and harass hunters. Thanks to the NRA hunter protection laws, it's illegal to interfere with a lawful hunt in all 50 states.
I just looked at a set of numbers 10 minutes ago that shows more than 70% of the people want to register all handguns. And if anybody tried that politically in this country, you would destroy them.
What about registering guns? All Americans are required to register their cars. Why not require them to register guns?
Most of the experts with whom I talked before I made my proposal believed that if we required all handgun owners to be licensed...
License those who purchase handguns.
If people could come in when they do get new guns and get a license, that I believe we'd have the same result.
Even though they were sold on prime time by the President, Vice President, Attorney General, and endorsed by most media, you fought back, blocking schemes to register guns and license gun owners. Having lost in Congress, gun haters moved to the courts, where greedy lawyers and big city mayors have filed dozens of lawsuits to sue America's firearm industry into bankruptcy.
We are a bad dream to the gun industry.
We're breaking new legal ground here using product liability laws against the gun industry.
We're seeking $433 million in damages from 38 retailers, distributors, and manufacturers. We're going to hit them right where it hurts, in their bank accounts.
It's not a joke. It's not a game. Nobody's doing this to become famous. We're doing this because the blood and carnage that often rips the heart and soul out of cities has to stop.
To block these junk lawsuits, the NRA helped pass lawsuit preemption in 32 states and is pressing for a federal law.